Hi, my name is Ray Alder. I'm 27 years old and I have cystic fibrosis. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah.
My name is Luann McKinnon. I'm 68 years old with cystic fibrosis.
Hi, I'm Gianna. I'm 12 years old and I have cystic fibrosis.
My name is Srivas Tirumallah. I'm currently 27 years old and I have cystic fibrosis. And right now I'm residing in New York City.
My name is Elise Elkonen Goldberg. I am 64 years old with cystic fibrosis and I am 10 years post a double lung transplant.
My name is Willem Weary. I am 63 years old and I have cystic fibrosis.
My name is Thomas. I'm 30 years old and I have cystic fibrosis.
My name's Anna Payne. I'm 36 years old. I have cystic fibrosis and I live in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. My daily medical routine might look different than a lot of other CF patients, and that's because I also have stage 4 colon cancer.
My least favorite part about having CF is having to go to the hospitals, getting shots, and when I have to cough something out and I'm in public, people start staring at me and that makes me feel uncomfortable.
The biggest challenge in living with cystic fibrosis physically is just maintaining treatment adherence and also coordinating all of the care. I get care from multiple states because of some other overlapping conditions that I have. And so having to coordinate all my care teams is really like a full-time job on top of all the medical care that I have to do day to day. So that for me physically is the hardest part, just keeping up with that and what it entails. And for me emotionally, I would have to say the hardest part of having CF is probably the isolation. I think it's hard for other young adults my age to understand what it's like to live with a really serious illness like CF, and obviously we can't hang out in person with other folks with CF, so that can be very isolating at times. I'm very grateful for technology and that helps, but it's still, at the end of the day, it can be a very isolating disease.
So my brother also has cystic fibrosis, and I would say the way it sort of affected our family has been more mental than physical, just because you're always on edge with your health and how you're feeling. So I would definitely say that it's taken a pretty big mental toll on our day-to-day life, right? Just ensuring that we are doing whatever possible to ensure that my health is up to date, and also just tackling any issues that come along the way.
Colon cancer is something I have been dealing with now since July of 2021. It's been 2 years. And so into my treatment, we'll say burden, has now increased and includes chemotherapy every 2 weeks. CF patients are 5 to 10 times more likely to develop colon cancer, and I was diagnosed at age 34. So that is something that I have to stay on top of, including my CF.
So my parents were informed that I would live for 5 years. And I became 19, and I turned 29, and I turned 39, and 49, and 59. And this summer I will turn 69 years old.
The big challenge living with CF is finding balance. Trying to find balance with all that CF throws at you is hard enough. And then you add in your social life, your personal life, your mental health, and so on. And that's where the challenge is finding the balance.
It's important to raise awareness of CF, especially in regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion, in the fact that I was missed. I am a person that the system didn't work for. It didn't catch cystic fibrosis in me when it should have. And part of that is due to my race. So it's very important that voices, especially patients like myself, patients of color, use their voice and advocate and say that, hey, we are here.
It's so important that we keep finding new therapies for the 10+% of those that cannot be on modulators, so they too aren't in the hospital so often, or just the simple thing of being able to breathe better.
Historically, cystic fibrosis has always been considered sort of a Caucasian disease, but recently there's been more and more research finding that there are people from all over the world that are affected with this life-threatening progressive disease. So I think that, it's extremely important that we continue to push for awareness around the world, just because there could be people that are struggling with CF that have no idea that they have cystic fibrosis, And also because, there's still 10% of the CF population that don't benefit from these sort of therapies that are out there on the market right now.
My hope for the future is that we will find modulators or another treatment that will help the 10% of individuals who cannot take modulators at this current time. But ultimately, my hope is that we find a cure for cystic fibrosis.
My hope for the future is that we continue to fight for new therapies, fight for new drugs, fight for the coverage for everyone with CF has access to them. Please help us find a cure.
My hope for the future of cystic fibrosis research is that we find a cure for cystic fibrosis. But until that time, I'm hopeful that we find new treatments and new ways to fight cystic fibrosis exacerbations.
My hope is that for those who are benefiting from modulators, who have a new lease on life, that all of us will be able to have that same gratitude and feeling about having a new lease on life.
It's my dream and my hope that a total cure will be found and that children don't have to suffer and young adults. And I think there's a great, bright future ahead because CFers, those of us with CF, we can do so much. And many friends of mine in the community are astounding human beings that I give a deep bow to. I'm just very proud to be part of this community.
My hope for the future of CF research is that there are groundbreaking drugs and medications that come onto the market that are able to benefit all cystic fibrosis patients, and ultimately there is a cure that allows all of those with this progressive, life-threatening disease to ultimately lead healthy and long, fulfilling lives.
Please support CEF research to find a cure.
It's important that we stay focused on research and finding a cure for the final 10% and everyone fighting CF, because at the end of the day, whether you're able to take a modulator or not, there still isn't a cure found. We're still losing people far too young to this disease, and we have the tools available, and I believe we have the brains available as well to find the cure that is needed for all of us, because we all deserve more tomorrows.